Phil Letterman. You paying attention now? Yeah. Okay. None of that's true. But what is true is she is a clinical psychologist. She's an expert at stress and how to relieve it. She's an expert on how to add enjoyment to your daily life. She's an expert on how to be more happy. And is there anyone here that isn't getting enough happiness? Would anyone here like more happiness?
Oh, all the time.
Well, you can't count Elias because he looks pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
But I give you Dr. Chelsea.
Hi everybody, my beautiful people. So I have some flyers, some handouts, if you guys want to just pass around. And I will probably move quite a bit because I'm going to plan on specifically messing with Elias and the video camera.
You got it, yeah!
I got your permission, Chelsea.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'll be good. So my name is Chelsea. I'm a licensed psychologist out in Gold River, which is kind of between Fair Oaks, Folsom, and Rancho Cordova. Basically, I have a group. I own a group practice of psychologists and postdoc interns. We do individual therapy, couples therapy, family therapy, kid therapy. You know, we've covered the therapies. We've kind of got it all. In general, part of what our business is focused on, this is the last I'll mention about my business, but what we focus on is if somebody wants therapy, we want to get them excellent therapy, regardless of if they're having financial trouble, regardless of whether their diagnosis might be a little strange or interesting, regardless of how they get along with their family or whomever. If somebody wants therapy, we want to get it to them. So it's kind of, in a way, our way of paying it forward. So anyone that I do know is about half of you, my kind of way about going about life is to pay it forward. If you can do something for someone, if you can help someone connect, that's kind of, that's kind of what we focus on, what I focus on in life. So that's enough about me. That part freaks me out. So moving on. So the paper that's kind of going around is just an outline about things you can do specifically to reduce stress. Okay? I have a bunch of handouts if you want them, but I did not want to print them all out, only because I wanted to save some trees. So if you think about stress, in a lot of ways, it's like building blocks or Legos. Okay? You'll probably, it sounds like a very strange description, but the more you add to one side, the more stressed you're going to feel and the more your mood changes. The more you add to the other side, the better you're going to feel, the more energized you're going to feel. So what we're going to talk about today is how to be a bit more aware of what to control and how to make it what you want. So part of the kind of, the idea of the balance is you get to add things to which side that you want, but if you don't pay attention to this, you're not going to really have as much say in how your mood changes. So one of the things I want everybody to do is actually, I'm going to read to you 7 things that promote happiness. So this is well researched, it's not just hippie Pollyanna stuff, I promise, but things that you can do specifically that are easy, very easy, talk louder included, things that you can do that are very easy to dramatically improve your happiness and your enjoyment. And if you think about it, when you're happier, you have a lot more energy, right? So when you're happier, it's easier to connect with the other people at GNA. When you're in a good mood, it's much easier to get up and talk about your business and talk about what you do so well that all of these other beautiful people do want to hear.
Cheers.
Right? Cheers, he knows. So one thing, now there'll be 7 on this list. I'd like you to think about how many of these you already do, okay? So, once a day, perform an act of kindness. How many people do that at least once a day? She was quick, she knows. She does it. Back there. Now think about it. An act of kindness can be simple. Can just be a hi, how you doing? Having a good day? It's good to see you. I already told her all that, so she knows it's genuine. I'm not worried. But also holding a door for somebody. The interesting thing about what happens in your brain chemistry is if you do something kind or generous to someone else, you get, well, I'm not going to go into the details, you get all of these natural things released in your brain that improve your mood, enhance your energy levels, right? So if you're sluggish, if you're tired, if you're exhausted, believe it or not, doing one act of kindness a day, within about 7 to 8 days, it'll shift your mood. And it sounds ridiculously simple, right? All well researched, I promise. The second thing, once a day, write down 3 things that you feel grateful for. Sounds ridiculous. She knows it too. She's in. Sounds ridiculously simple, right? But the point of writing it down not only helps you to be more focused on it, but you'll start noticing other things in your life that you are grateful for. And when you notice the things you're grateful for, that means you're spending that energy on things of enjoyment, happiness, contentment, instead of frustration, disappointment, the to-do list, all that stuff. So the next one, continued work towards a valued goal. Okay, so we all have things we have to do during the day. We have things we have to do during the week. We have things that our businesses need us to do, right? The question is, do you have something that is kind of bigger than that, a dream or a value of, this is important to me, I always focus on this. Again, mine is, if I have information that somebody wants, I want to get it to them. So people call me all the time, and whether or not they want therapy, that's totally fine. If they need a referral, I send them somewhere. If they need paperwork, I send it to them. Because if you're looking for something, and if I have it, it seems to make sense to me to pass it on. So my goal, my valued goal, is to be good to my community, my people around me. So when you have a goal, and some people, their goal is, I want to go to Mexico, I want to go on a trip, I'm ready, I'm going to go in 6 months. If you keep your focus on that, it's amazing how it shifts you towards a happiness because you have an endpoint, and in a way, you have this success that's waiting for you, this reward. Okay? Daily contact with nature and other living things. I don't know if you plan to bring that beautiful dog here just for this presentation and this point, but it was good timing. So if you guys did not see the sweet angel puppy in the back, he's adorable. But contact with nature, with the outside, the actual outdoors. We spend a lot of time running from our car into the garage and into the store, but we don't necessarily stop and notice all the subtle pieces. And we'll get into the idea of mindfulness in a minute. How many people have ever heard that term, mindfulness? It's bloody everywhere, right? You hear mindfulness all the time, you hear it all over. The catch is to enjoy what's around us, to enjoy the people that are around us, to enjoy the food as we're actually eating it, is a completely different experience than our normal, busy, running around day. Okay. Establish a daily practice. How many people have a daily practice of connecting with other networking people? Definitely.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, right? Yeah.
Specific things for yourself. Not just like a daily hygiene, but like a daily, this is my daily glass of iced tea. This is, I'm assuming some of you might not just use iced tea, but we'll talk about it later. But this is my daily, coffee, and it picks me up. Or this is my daily
Reading time.
What's that? Reading time. Okay, I was just going to say, what does everyone else do? Prayer. Good one. What else?
I also do like special calls that are based off of my just success calls, I guess.
Okay. So success calls about what you are successful or about others being successful?
It's others pouring into me through a call, like a hotline.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, in a way, you get to connect with someone, and both of you get a benefit out of that interaction, right? She said maybe.
Yeah, it's recorded.
Okay.
It's hard to explain.
So you get to kind of check in, get grounded, and really get kind of supported, even if it's tape recorded. Okay. So having a daily practice also on a very subtle level in our bodies, it reminds us that we can expect something and it can actually happen. Which, if you think about it, is safety. If you expect something and it never happens, you pretty much go through the world like, I don't know what's coming next. But if you expect something and it happens, your body gets the sense of, I knew it. Completion. That you can trust in the world. And if you do that often enough, if you have a daily practice, then you start getting used to the world is a safe place. The world is a good place to be. The world can be predictable. Because the fact is, the world can be pretty unpredictable, and that can be pretty uncomfortable, right? So, all right, 2 more. So keep your environment cool. If you believe it or not, it's easier to fall asleep if it is not stiflingly hot. We interact better and we're more resilient if it's not extremely hot, if it's nice and kind of a relaxed, comfortable degree or temperature. So keeping your environment at a setting, whatever it is, that allows you to be able to be more productive yourself actually maintains your balance and your coping skills. Watch out, therapy word, coping skills. So to be able to deal with whatever's going around you, to be able to be resilient and flexible, believe it or not, keeping it nice and cool actually helps. Or whatever is comfortable for you, but on the cooler side. Okay, last one, and I will go on to a different topic. So, give money away. I know. At a business networking event, we're talking about giving money away. What? So believe it or not, to be able to be in a position to give money, even if it's a small amount, a big amount, is the feeling of, my life is all right. I can give this. And that, over time, it's amazing how helpful it is to our own. Rick, would you like to volunteer to collect that money?
I do.
Okay, good. So if if you want to be happy, give Rick some money afterwards, and I will talk to
Rick will gladly take your money.
and the act of kindness will make it all work. So the other nice thing, though, about being able to give money away is it does remind us that no matter what position we're in, you might have a quarter, and somebody might benefit from that quarter. And I'm not saying you have to do it at all. I'm also not saying go on a spree and just start giving money away. That's not what I mean. But to be able to give, it's an amazingly rewarding, and it's very impactful on our happiness and our stress. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, the next thing on the list is the 10 breath exercise. If anybody's got that paper, we're not going to do 10 breaths. We're going to do 3. So what I want everybody to do right now is notice your stomach. Notice what's going on, whether you're eating or not. Are you stressed? Are you tense? Are you calm? What's going on with your jaw, your shoulders? Are you stressed from, she's moving her, she's like, all right, let's check these out. So being able to know what's going on in your body will give you a bit more of a benefit. But first, so everybody kind of notice how you're sitting, notice what's going on, smile, notice how it impacts you. And I want everybody, we're going to take 3 just deep breaths. That's it. So just a deep breath in, and out, in, and out. One more, in, and out. I'm not going to pass out, so I'm doing good. But the question would be, now check in with your stomach, with your jaw. I can even hear it in my voice. I'm talking calmer, a bit more ease. Because what happens is, if you look on a biochemical level, you know, the neurochemistry of what a deep breath does is it increases your oxygen in throughout your entire body, which again makes you more able to deal with anything that comes, especially stress. The other thing it does is, usually when people take a couple deep breaths, they stop thinking about whatever they were thinking about, right? So if you're worried about work, if you're wondering how to make sure to get all those people your cards at the GNA meeting, for just a second, it's not thinking about that. So your body, it's like it gets just a little bit of a spa treatment. Okay, not exactly like spa treatment, but you get my drift. The catch is if you can take a couple deep breaths a couple times throughout the day, at the end of the day, it adds up. So it's almost like you got a couple hours or a couple minutes or whatever it is you choose of meditation time. So again, that kind of connects with that whole mindfulness aspect, right? Also, raise of hands, how many people are way too busy to do 3 deep breaths during the day, right? Put your hand down. 3 deep breaths is easy.
She's being sarcastic.
You can do it at a stoplight. You can do it anywhere. You can do it before you pick up the phone. Anytime, anywhere. But the thing is, if you do it, you will get that benefit. That's the nice part about everything I talk about is you don't have to do it. You can stay as stressed as you want. I am not So now we're all going to do one mindfulness exercise. And again, mindfulness is kind of, it's more of an Eastern philosophy about noticing the world around you. Okay? So in a way, to be connected with what's around you, not necessarily of importance. This thing, I still want to mess with it, I won't. But just to notice the shutters, the blinds, it's not going to make a big difference in your day, right? But let's kind of take a different perspective. If I'm super stressed and I can feel it in my stomach, or I am like, I can't even focus, if I take 30 seconds and just notice the color of something, what it sounds like, that is not important, but the fact that I can shift my attention, that's important. So you two over there were both nodding. Is that something you guys kind of register or resonate with? I teach that. All right, see? We're going to talk to her later. So in a way, a lot of people hear, oh, be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. But the fact is, to be able to be connected with your environment and what you're experiencing, it allows the stress to give you a break, and it really allows your body to remember life, right? Because if you think about it, if you think about what you did today, I could think, okay, I remember getting up and running to shower. I remember getting up and running to work, and I remember hustling to get to lunch. Okay, I remember, packing all the kids in. Oh yeah, running to do that, and that's right, running to pick them up. Perfect. So if you think about it, just pausing and noticing the weight. Oh, that's super light. I would like all of you to come and try this later. But noticing it's not what I expected. And just noticing, oh, if I ever wanted blinds, I might do something like that. I might do something different. Now that's a memory in my day. So happiness is actually a collection of things throughout an amount of time. So if you're adding, again, it's that balance. If you're adding things to your memory of, that's right, remember that? Oh, that's right, that smile. That made me smile. Or, oh, that's right, that just didn't stress me out. Suddenly your day is a bit more balanced. Or teeters over to happier, more enjoyable, less stress, all of that. How's our time, by the way? Anyone? Okay, good. All right. So if you're not conscious to which side you're adding to, you will be adding to sides, but you will not be adding probably to the side you want. Okay? Because we tend to, when stress comes, we tend to take off the fun things on our to-do list, right? We tend to start focusing more on the things that stress us, which then stresses us more. And we tend to stop slowing down, right? Okay, so again, slowing down, worth it. So on one hand, therapy is one way of helping people to get all of those pieces. Less stress, figure out what it is you want in life. The nice part about that is, I don't have to be your therapist. You do not have to come to me. This is not a business. Come to me. You have to come to Authentic Counseling Associates. No. If you want something in your life to shift, therapy is one way. A dance class is one way. A nutritionist is one way. A yoga teacher is one way. And if you think about it, there are a lot of different businesses in this room right now that can help people get what it is they want. If you want to connect with animals, come back here. Come meet Daisy. That's not Daisy, but come meet Daisy. If you want to be able to see the world better, call Seth. Get your windows clean. Because it's the idea of how is it you can enhance your moment, your interaction in the world, so that you're getting more of what you want, and so that you're not having to focus on the stress. Right? Okay, so everybody still with me? Okay. If you're sleeping, that's all right. Then it's also relaxing. I'm okay with that. Okay. So one of the other things, if you are looking for therapy or a counselor, the most important thing in getting what you want is that you click with the person. If you do not like your therapist, figure out if you should be staying with your therapist. Again, you don't have to see me. I'm just saying, if you're talking and spending time and spending money, why would you want to be with someone that you don't feel comfortable with, right? Same thing, pretty much any field. And again, that's another benefit of the GNA. Once you meet all the people here, you're like, oh, I love this person. They're such a sweetheart. Oh my gosh, here. So you get to know their connection. And if you don't, very much like what you're saying, if you don't like someone, you're not going to refer to them. You're not going to use them. So to be able to start connecting with people where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe, and where you're able to get what it is you want, that's a huge piece of really enhancing your happiness, decreasing your stress. Okay, so I have one more, and I promise I tend to talk a little bit faster when I get in front of a group. So let's just check in. Is everyone even with me?
Why is that?
You know, that would be a stress thing.
Why is that, Chelsea?
I'm really good about 2 or 3 people, but we've got a lot of you. There's a lot of you. So everybody's doing all right in the very back?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just go real quick over one of the mindfulness exercises. So I want everybody to pick something on your table. Doesn't have to be something important. Just grab something, and I want you to hold it up. Okay. I'm sorry, hold it to yourself. You don't have to hold it up to me. So I want everyone to just look at it. Right? Just have a look. You can move it, you can hold it still. And I want everyone to look at it in a different light. Tilt it a little bit.
It still looks like it.
Also, everyone notice how much you laugh, because this is a silly exercise, right?
It really is.
Laughter is good, we'll take it. Now, I want you to listen to it. Either tap it against your ear, tap it against the table. Do not hurt anyone. He is laughing right there out of your nose. Hang it off your nose.
It's got a thing on it.
Now, if it is something edible or if it is yours, potentially you can taste it, but I'm not promoting that. The catch is to notice things in very different, not only with all 5 senses, but in a different way, right?
I like to change the color.
Now, how many people of the thing you just picked up thought, this is boring, why would I pick this up? You lied. Come on, you have a spoon.
I love my food.
Okay.
I thought it was fun.
I love my food.
Think about it. Some of you picked up your phone. We pick up our phone all the time. Our phone is not an intriguing, interesting, unless you get it blinged out, and I think you guys do that, right?
Blinged out.
Blinged out.
I think I'd like to change the color.
Blinged out, like this pen. Can you guys see this pen in the back? Right? I'm like mesmerized by this pen.
Blinged out.
So I'm done. I'll talk to you guys later.
So,
to have, what's that?
when you're done, we're just going to entertain questions.
Oh, okay. In 1 second. I think that on one hand, to have something that catches your attention, again, if nothing else, you feel alive. Like, do you guys hear the laughter go through the room? Where do you feel, this is the dumbest question ever, but where do you feel laughter? in your stomach, in your chest a bit, she can't hear you. Where do you feel that I should talk louder? There's a frustration. We're going to talk louder. But again, it's the idea of being able to connect with the moment because it helps you really decrease your stress all the time, right? So right here, she has the outside of a straw. Not interesting, right? But I can hear it, and in a way, I'm like, every time she moves it, I'm moving with the rhythm of it, which is, she's like a one-person band, and I'm totally her audience over here. But again, the nice thing is to notice that. It's like, oh, see, she's still doing it. I'm still kind of moving with her. It's an interesting experience, and it is not my stressful day. It is not the diapers I have to change when I get home. It is not the cleaning I have to do when I get home. It is something else so that you feel alive. And basically, stress reduction and enjoying life is about adding things that make you feel alive, or things that used to feel alive that you haven't done, and then being reminded, oh, that's right, that worked, then I could probably add it again. Okay? So, I'm going to stop right here. Okay.
This is a good time for questions.
Oh, this would be a good time for questions. If anyone has any questions. So first let me say thank you very much for letting me speak. And again, I don't know what everyone gets out of the GNA, but for me, to be able to meet with everyone, it is fulfilling. So for me, I don't come to the GNA only for business or passing out cards or getting cards. I come because it reminds me of a whole group of people that have the same view on life that I do. Connect, be good people, enjoy, do for others, not only yourself. So I think, again, finding what fills you and adding that to your life, that's a huge, important piece that you have total control over. Okay, so I'll stop, or I will never stop. So, did you have a question?
Yeah, Chelsea, I got when things happen to me, okay, they happen like all at one time.
Okay.
So say when the phone rings, 3-4 calls come in at the same time. And you get that stress moment where you go, oh, I got to get the next one, and I'm trying, I've been working on I'll forget the next one until I get to it. But that's kind of what you're talking about, shift your mind so you don't, because it just piles up and you go faster and faster and you get stressed out.
If you keep thinking about whatever's stressing you, you won't be able to actually deal with it. It's kind of like
you get short with the one you're on, trying to get them off the phone to get to the next one.
And in a way, it's very mindfulness and stress reduction is very respectful. Allow yourself time to deal with what is here right this moment, and then realize that when you call the others back, then they will have their time. But if we don't remind ourselves, okay, I need to kind of slow it down this moment, so we just keep spiraling.
I think women are better at that.
He said women are better than that. No, we're not.
Better at that. Do them one at a time.
He said women are better at everything.
I didn't say that.
He said women are the world.
Hey, man. High five. I'm sorry. I interrupted you, but that was good.
No question? Oh, go ahead.
If you have a friend or family member that's really stressed out, what are a tip or two we can do to help them, other than just being a shoulder to cry on?
Yeah.
Because I do that and I feel helpless.
Yeah.
I feel like it just brings me down,
Yeah.
and I'm not really helping the person.
He was saying if you have somebody who's kind of needing a shoulder to cry on and you don't know how to help, or you've tried helping and it doesn't seem to be helping, I would actually say two things. One is to ask them what they think might be the most helpful. What can I do to help you right now? Because sometimes we don't know. I don't know. And that's when you say, okay, what about I can listen? What about I could try to problem solve? What about I have this great stress reduction thing I got from this giant therapist? I can give that to you. But asking them what it is that they might want, or if they have any ideas, allows them to also be a little bit in charge of, let me think about that. But again, sometimes just being there to listen. And if you're exhausted from listening, don't force yourself, but figure out how can I help, or be mindful at that moment. Wow, I feel like I'm listening and you're not feeling better, and I'm feeling frustration. Notice it, because I bet you're feeling the frustration that they're feeling of, I don't know how to make this better. And sometimes in life, mindfulness is all about, yep, doesn't feel good right now. Yeah, still doesn't feel good. Yeah, wow, it's still, I'm still right there. Great. Because that is a piece of life, but it does shift. So, I don't know if I answered your question or just dodged it.
No, you dodged it.
You nailed it good,
You're a
huh?
great therapist. You dodged it.
Is it true that
the women just want somebody to listen, and they don't want to hear solutions because most guys are solution oriented, and so sometimes they don't want to listen.
Good question.
That was my real question.
Maybe on GNA event.
There's a lot of sides.
Yeah.
Actually, what he's describing is less male-female, and it's more communication style. If you want to fix a problem, it's actually men tend to be more of let's fix the problem so that we don't have to describe
Right,
anymore.
yeah, it's uncomfortable for us.
2 minutes or a question.
No, a question to add on to that. What I was going to say is that if we're dealing with a female as a male, it's okay to give feedback, but you need to ask for permission first. Is it okay if I, give you my feedback? Are you open to my feedback? Now, it still might not work, but at least you're
making the effort.
I know some experience, okay?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's part of what you're describing. Both of you are describing is if you have somebody and they're saying, "Let me tell you about what's going on with me," and they don't mention, "Oh, but I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen." If they don't mention that part, then you might just go into, "Oh, I can solve this for you. We can go back and watch a movie or whatever." But the catch is, it's more about communication style and being aware. Men, in a way, in our society, get held responsible for being to the point more than women. We are, in a way, allowed, and maybe we're just good at it, about drifting and telling you this piece of information because it's important, we think. But the fact is, it's just communication differences because there are a lot of men who have that same style. They'll describe everything about something, and then the woman might be saying, "Can you get to the point?"
Give me some now.
Yeah, but I would say that, again, it really comes down to checking in. So, especially if you ask, "So, would you like to hear me kind of give you some information? Would you like me to just listen?" Because sometimes people will just say, "No, I just want you to listen, of course." Duh. And it's like, "Oh, how would I?"
But I'm going.
One in the back, too. Go ahead.
Well, okay. Weird that Harry brings that up because me and my wife had the same argument or talk yesterday, and obviously I'm the problem solver. Just tell me what it is so I can solve the problem. And she's like, "I don't care if you solve the problem. I just want you to listen to me." And I'm sitting there going, "Okay, then why tell me at all if you don't want me to solve the problem? A, and B, do you do couples therapy?"
I do. What's interesting is she's not looking for problem solving, she's looking for connection. So she's looking for relationship building, and you're looking for, "Can we finish this discussion?" Because you're saying,
That's exactly it.
because you hear problem.
They already
let's
built
fix
this
it.
relationship.
Her problem is not necessarily that. She's saying, "Hey, how can we spend some time? How can we connect?" But if you're hearing "fix this problem," then obviously there's going to be a disjoint. Just let me ask him.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead in the back.
Yeah, I would like to expand what you're saying about the whole communication thing. And what I've noticed is we automatically went to the male-female paradigm battle.
Right.
Get away from that.
Yeah.
We're all human.
Yeah. It's a good point because in reality there's so many exceptions in life that to just say male or female, and actually it's also a very good way to start a conversation. Just to go, "Oh, let's just go with male-female." But the fact is, we all so very different and individual. And if you think about it, that's what's lovely about us. And in different settings. When I'm with my kids, I might be very much more to the point because they're little. If I'm with somebody that I want to just chit-chat with and schmooze, we might talk for days before we get to the point. So again, it depends on the situation. It depends on who you're interacting with. But it is a good point to be able to look at, we're pretty much all similar and human than different. So much more so.
Wayne, go ahead. The last question.
Okay, I want to just wrap that up. I believe they're both valuable and both needed to.
If you are a business owner, because if you think about it, you're good at a certain aspect of your business, but you might need to either delegate or incorporate someone who does another piece very well. So if you have several co-workers, it's just another type of relationship. So to be able to say I'm A and B, and this person's C, together we got the start of the alphabet here, this is good. It allows you to have more flexibility in any field or any area.
Last question. I know we got to wrap things up here, but from my personal standpoint is that I feel to make a better business decision, people need to turn off the emotion and do what's right for the situation. And what I was going to say, when Trey was mentioning about his wife, who I know, she's a very wonderful lady, but she's looking for more of the emotional connection, Troy, right? And which you're laughing because, it's true, and us men have a hard time, we want to understand this for us, but we've got to understand the emotional aspect as well, too, and create a fine balance. But when it comes to a business decision, the best ones are made when you turn the emotion off and you do what's right.
Or even better is exactly like you're saying, to notice both of them as input, as information.
Right.
So while my emotion is saying I should do this, my business sense is saying I should do this, my pocketbook is saying I should do this. So then you get to decide, where do I want to go? Because if you're just only run by your emotions, you're going to find some bumps in the road. But if you're also only run by your business sense, you won't get along as well, as easily as well.
Forget about the pocketbook.
It's true. It's good to know. Okay, thank you guys so much.
Now, I've heard, I just don't know if this is true, but I've heard that women process like 60,000 words a day and men only process like 5,000. After 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm not hearing anything she said.
We like to get to the point quicker, Rick.
Nobody heard that.
She took my spoon. Did anyone else have a spoon or a fork or something on their table that they use? You got to leave them here. They'll charge you. I'm going to take my spoon home with me, but you got to leave yours here.